Good evening, guys. Um, Another one for tonight. And this is going back to 19th of March 2011. I would say I'm going to share this one to the Facebook site as well because this is one for the Liverpool fans, really. So we went to that's going to become obvious later on what the connection is. But we went on 19th of March 2011 to the Ayrshire Weekly Press Cup Round 1 game, Muirkirk Juniors versus Hurlford United. Now, as it stands now, that Muirkirk are in the bottom division, Hurlford are in the top division. Back then, they were reasonably similar. I think there was one division separating them. Now, for groundhoppers, and a groundhopper is a neutral fan who visits loads of different grounds, ticks them off. Muirkirk is one of the best because it's dead easy to get to. You're only a dozen miles off the A70, down the A70 off the M74. It used to be an iron works. It had coal mines and everything. And they were formed, Muirkirk, 70 years ago, 1937, 74 years ago. And they played the home games at Ladeside Park, which was above the village. And it's an old ground. They don't play there now. They moved to Burnside Park in 1986. But we went up to the old ground, and you can still see the remnants of ground because the old changing rooms are there still, all built in stone, and even the bottoms of the goalposts are there. 35 years later, they're still there. And when you wander around the ground, you can see the outline of the pitch. It's very bleak because it's up in the hills. It was very untended by the look of it. It wouldn't have been great to play football there. It's very uneven. But a visit up there is great because you can see the old pitch. So they moved to Burnside Park, which is the same name as the ground that the Glenbuck Cherrypickers used to play at. We'll come on to them in a bit. So it's a very nice ground. It's bordered by trees. It's a bit like, if you know in this area, if you ever played at Clafton, near Lancaster, just through Caton there, between Caton and Hornby, the Clafton Brickworks ground. It's quite reminiscent of that. It's got fir trees lining it, and it's fairly decent. The new Clafton ground, when it's perpendicular to the road, as opposed to the old one, which was parallel to the road sort of 30 years ago. But Muirkirk played the bottom division, and they played against Hurlford. Very good ref. Lots of controversial incidents in the game. Local cup competition, they lost 4-1, and that was that. And before we went home, on the way home was the village of Glenbuck, which is an uninhabited village now. It used to be a mining village, and that was home to the Glenbuck Cherrypickers. It used to have a population of about 1,200, but now it's a derelict village. It's been uninhabited for years. 1,200 people used to live there, but it had an absolutely amazing record of producing professional footballers. And out of 1,200 people that lived there, they produced 50 professional footballers, 6 of whom went on to play for Scotland. And one of them was Bill Shankly. He never played for the Glenbuck Cherrypickers because he wasn't old enough. But they won all the trophies in the local area in Scotland around about that time. And so they were called the Cherrypickers because of the coal mining industry, and the job of the people that worked from Glenbuck was to cherry pick the best bits of coal, and that's where they got the name. So it's a lost community now, but it has to be remembered in football circles, and for producing 50 professional footballers, which is amazing. I mean, Alex Tate, known as Sandy, he won an FA Cup winners medal with Spurs in 1901, and Sandy Brown was also there, and the cup was put up in the village shop window. Bill Shankly was the youngest of 5 footballing brothers that all came from there, and his uncle Bob Blythe played for Rangers. and also Preston and for Portsmouth. When the village was going to disappear and the news of that reached the Liverpool to the COP, open cast mining was about to stop. A group of supporters decided to put up a lasting memorial at the ground to Bill Shankly, and that was put up in 1997 with support from the Supporters Club, from Scottish Coal, and also Network 5, and that was put up on an island of undisturbed ground in the centre of what was Burnside Park. There's a small sign off the road that leads you to it, a few hundred yards up to Glenbuck, and you see the memorial. I've seen it. It's amazing. If you're a Liverpool fan and you've never been to Glenbuck, do you know what? Search it out. Go on a little bit of a road trip as a Liverpool fan. Go up and stay in Ayrshire. Take a couple of hours out of your trip to go to Glenbuck. Stop off, get your picture with the memorial stone. Try and walk up into the old abandoned village. It's shut off a bit like the closed army, sort of former army ranges off. It's closed off like that, but I'm sure you can wander around it. Muirkirk and that area is brilliant. And if you're a proper Liverpool fan, which I know a lot of you are, you need to go and look at the Glenbuck Memorial. It's only a couple of hours from Carnforth, where I live. It's just something that, as a Liverpool fan, you need to do. Get in your car, get up there, get your picture with it, give your support. I don't know if there's an online donation site to keeping the memorial up. I would think there probably is. But that's what you need to do. It's very haunting and it's a smashing place. Forget everything I've said about junior football, about the grounds I go to, but happening upon this memorial to the Glenbuck Cherrypickers. Amazing. Really good. If you're really a football fan, particularly a Liverpool fan, you'll go and do this. And if you're not so much a fan, at least Google the Glenbuck Cherrypickers. Fascinating history. Thanks for watching, guys.